Batgirl number 26, written by Gail Simone, art by Daniel Sempier. This is kind of the end of the arc of Batgirl Wanted, and last issue, Nightfall sent literally every single Batgirl villain after Jim Gordon because she thinks that he thinks that she's behind stuff. So, gotta have her killed. And also, Barbara's gonna put back on the Batgirl suit in order to save him. So, we are at Commissioner Gordon's brownstone. And inside, they're just like, okay, we're going to kill him, but we got to make it look like a mob thing. We can't make it look like a superhero thing. So we're going to like cut off some fingers and like torture him a little bit. And sorry, Commissioner, that's just the way things got to be. And he's like, go to hell. And he's like, that's the spirit. So they've about to take some garden shears to one of his fingers when all of a sudden Batgirl, full costume, busts in through the window and everyone freaks out like, oh, Christ, it's Batgirl. So because she's on her motorcycle, she's like, I should be pulling the brakes, but you know what? I want to hurt somebody. And she just goes full throttle into, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to remember any of these people's names, but like the big strong one. So immediately, like one by one, each of the villains just be like, it's Batgirl, we have to stop her. And like Gretel pulls a gun. Batgirl just lodges some batarangs into her arm. She takes her father and runs upstairs where they run into the Mirror, and Mirror's like, oh, you are both on my list. And Batgirl just throws a batarang at his face, shattering his face shield, and just be like, oh man, screw your goddamn list. Also, by the way, that's a concussive one, as it explodes and shatters his mirror. So at this point, Batgirl hands her dad a belt, like a utility belt, saying like, hey, everything he needs in here, you just got to be willing to use it. And he's just like, I have no idea how to use this thing. Look, if you want me to do this, I need some reason to trust you. And Batgirl just thinks back to her boyfriend who was shot and now comatose in the hospital, and she's like, oh, well, give me one reason I should trust you. Yeah, no, we're in the same boat here, but we both got to make it out of this alive. So at that point, Bonebreaker, that was her name, calls into Nightfall being like, hey, Batgirl's here. What do we do? And she's just like, what are you talking about? This is a perfect thing. Kill Jim Gordon and then frame it so that Batgirl looks like she did it. She already lodged some batarangs in your arm, right? Just lay those on Jim Gordon's body. Open and shut case. So at that point, Jim's like, look, if you want me to help, if you want to like work together, I need to get down into my footlocker down in the basement. So help me get down there. So they head down. We see that all the villains are like readying themselves at the top of the basement. They're like, look, they're going to hold out down there. They're going to hide down there. So we're going to have to go down there and get them. So everyone pile up. Everyone is able to walk at this point. And then apparently, whatever the name of the last guy is, Nightfall calls him Michael. He's outside the house. He's the one keeping watch on everything. And Nightfall's like, look, if things go sour, I want you to burn that house to the ground. Everyone inside of it. You don't worry about it. And she's like, all right, fair enough. So Batgirl pulls out all of her batarangs. She's ready to go. And Gordon, he opens up his footlocker and he's like, yeah, you forget I once was a beat cop and they gave me a gun, which I'm pretty sure you have to return that stuff. But for some reason, Gordon has it here. So Batgirl reasons out. She reasons out that all of the villains are expecting that they're going to have to come down and get Batgirl. They never expected a surprise attack coming up. So she uses all of her concussive batarangs to cause a massive explosion, takes the villains off guard, and just starts attacking all of them. And because this is a hallway fight scene, she's able to use their own weapons against each other. And, tight quarters is essentially bad news for them. So Gordon busts out through the back wall, whatever. He finds Michael is about to burn the place down because things are going south, and he uses his billy club to knock out Michael, take him down, and then set up a portable bat signal saying like, hey, the guy who gave me this isn't exactly cool with me right now, and I'm not cool with him, but like this is important. So he lights up the bat signal. And as Batgirl is just 100% beating the ever-loving crap out of everyone inside, Bonebreaker gets back on the phone just being like, hey, we're losing. Can we leave? And at that point, he's just like, all right, yeah, fair enough. Go ahead, pull out. So Batgirl's like about to throw a punch. Bonebreaker's like, whoa, hold on there. We're leaving. We're going to go now. Goodbye. And she's like, what? No, I'm not going to. You think I'm just going to stop and let you leave? And she's just like, kid, you earned your win tonight. We're kind of impressed. Take it. Take your win. Goodbye. And so all of them just leave, taking the unconscious bodies of the people Batgirl knocked out, and they just leave. So at that point, you hear sirens coming, and Batgirl's trying to get her bike up, and she's like, hey, I got to go. Sorry about the mess. And then Jim holds a gun to the back of her head and says, Batgirl, you're under arrest for the death of James Gordon Jr. And Batgirl's like, I saved your life tonight, dude. Is that not enough? And he's like, I'm grateful, but you killed my son. And she's like, do you not remember what happened that night? And he's like, yeah, I do. You shoved a batarang into my son's eye, and then he fell over the pier and died. Like, no one could have survived that. And she reasons out, like, you do, like, are you forgetting the before part? Your son had your wife at gunpoint, or knife point, I should say, was going to kill her. He sledgehammered me and I was concussed. Like, you know exactly what happened. Why? Why are you doing this? And he's just like, you committed murder. Like, that's, regardless of if it's for a good reason or not, the bats are not supposed to kill. That changes everything. You can't just be okay with that. And she's basically says, like, look, if you truly believe that I had any other choice in that situation to save your wife's life, if you think there was any other option, then shoot me. Shoot me now. Because otherwise, I'm going to leave. And she brings up that he shot her boyfriend as well. And Jim's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill the boyfriend. Whatever. And she's like, you know what? No more secrets. And she starts to take off her cowl. Jim looks away and is just like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want any part of that. And she's just like, and internal monologue, she's like, I'm willing to share this with him. And he can't do it. He at least doesn't think I'm a murderer anymore. He's willing to let me go. But it's just, I can't open up to him. I can't show who I really am. So she puts back on the cowl, hops on the motorcycle and drives away. And then back with Nightfall, we see her meeting up with James Gordon Jr. saying, oh, you were free from the Suicide Squad, huh? And just like, oh, yeah, I can get out of there easy. So, yeah. Gordon Jr. is with Nightfall now. So, as Batgirl's riding home, she's super upset, but then she gets a call from whatever his name, the boyfriend's mom, saying, hey, it's a miracle. He just came out of his coma. And so at that point, Batgirl says, oh, and there it is, the thing I thought I lost, hope. So that's the issue. Preface everything, I enjoyed it. I think it was a decently well-written issue. I think it was decently well-paced. It's a perfectly fine issue. I just feel like everything was building to this. Like, we brought back all the old villains. We brought back all this stuff. This feels like the capper to a run. And in the final pages, I just didn't get that. It didn't quite hit as hard as I really wanted it to hit. It had a good setup. It had this whole thing of, like, Batgirl and Jim just, like, talking it out and saying, like, is there any other option? Was there anything else I could do? I liked all that. But once it got to, like, her taking off the cowl, and then we see James Gordon Jr. meeting up with Nightfall, and then we see, what's his name, coming out of a coma. Like, all of that just felt a little bit too hollow for me. It didn't have that, like, that emotional punch. And I know this isn't the end of the run. So, there's no reason that should have. But it feels like it was building up to something like that this whole way through. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like it's like a 7.5. It's great. It's doing great work. But, like, I don't know, something about the end of it just, like, rang a little bit hollow to me. And I just wanted a little bit more. Not that it's bad. It just could have been so much more.